In this final episode, Doroka employed her love magic. The incantation she used on Adonis was a love spell to become a knight. A princess crown appeared when Doroka cast the spell. With this magic, Doroka commanded Adonis to be unbound by gravity. She ordered that no one could defeat him. All of Adonis' wounds would heal, and none of his bones would break. Not only that, but Doroka also commanded that Adonis possess unlimited magical power. Shirusagi truly never expected love magic to be used in such a manner. Seeing this immense power, Shirusagi felt threatened. He tried to keep as far away from Adonis as possible. However, Adonis swiftly drew a large glowing sword from his feather pen. The sword's strike hit Shirusagi hard. While under the influence of the love spell, he referred to Doroka as Lady Princess. Shirusagi continued to retreat, leaping over his drones, while Adonis steadfastly pursued. When they closed in, Shirusagi felt confident in facing Adonis head-on. He believed the love spell merely enhanced Adonis' magical energy. But to his surprise, Adonis' physical strength had also dramatically increased. With a lethal blow, he sent Shirusagi flying far from where they stood. Adonis didn't stop there. He chased after the battered Shirusagi. He then gripped Shirusagi's arm, displeased that it had harmed his princess. Without hesitation, Adonis ruthlessly severed the limb. He did the same to Shirusagi's leg. As a result, Shirusagi was badly beaten and could no longer fight back. However, Adonis was still intent on punishing him further. He then began to write a summoning spell. Unlike his usual spells, Adonis wrote an exceptionally long incantation. As he inscribed it, the sky above them began to glow, forming a magical circle. From this circle, snow suddenly descended. Adonis informed them that it was the magic Klo had used to end a 100-year drought. He had promised Klo to only use this magic when protecting someone. This spell was known as the Destructor Magic, Absolute Zero. Feeling desperate, Shirusagi launched all his drones at Adonis. However, as they approached, they instantly froze. Left with no other option, Shirusagi pleaded with Doroka to stop Adonis. He declared they would both perish if things continued this way. Unperturbed, Doroka commanded Adonis to be enveloped in a blazing fire, allowing him to warm himself by chanting flames onto his body. Shirusagi couldn't stand seeing such ridiculous power. He impulsively charged at Adonis, only to be frozen upon approaching. Soon after, his magic circle was complete. A powerful magic explosion erupted from the circle. The entire Manuta city instantly froze. Not just there, even most of the desert area felt the impact of the ice blast. Fortunately, within the blast, Adonis conjured magical clothing that could warm Doroka. The residents in Punch's settlement were puzzled when the weather suddenly turned cold. Observing from above, Punch sensed a looming threat and immediately ordered everyone to seek shelter. Shortly after, a hailstorm hit their location. Meanwhile, at the Redia Intelligence Bureau, panic ensued as they lost visuals from the drones, and signals from reconnaissance aircraft were also severed. Concurrently, they detected widespread magical phenomena from their meteorological satellite. This phenomenon caused a drastic drop in the external temperature in the coordinates associated with Shirusagi and his target. This situation forced them to rely on the visuals provided by the satellite. From space, a specific part of the Earth appeared engulfed in a massive storm vortex. Charmy and other Intelligence Bureau members were so alarmed that they didn't even notice Oz arriving at their location. Viewing the satellite visuals, Oz understood why conventional methods couldn't confront Adonis. It seemed ordinary tactics would be ineffective against his powers. A while later, Punch and the other residents emerged after the hailstorm subsided, still puzzled about what had transpired. Snow was not supposed to fall in this region. Punch was fairly certain that this event was linked to Adonis and Doroka. With a heavy heart, Punch hoped that Adonis and Doroka were safe. Amidst the frozen explosion center, Adonis remained standing, holding Doroka tightly. At that moment, Adonis felt Klo's presence in his embrace, hinting at their agreement to use the magic only when protecting someone. Moments later, they parted from their embrace. Doroka was surprised to see Adonis had managed to conjure warm clothing for her. But as she looked into Adonis's eyes, she saw him weaken. Doroka then released the love magic she had previously cast on Adonis, hoping to heal him. Her concern peaked when Adonis collapsed. In a panic, she checked his heartbeat and sighed in relief upon feeling its still pulse. Suddenly, Shirusagi's voice, sounding on the brink of death, was heard. He stated that Adonis and Doroka reminded him of Dorothea and that young man when they were younger. Shirusagi pleaded that if they ever met Dorothea, they should convey his efforts, even though he couldn't obtain the incarnation magic. In his hopeful words, Shirusagi wondered if there was a place for him alongside Dorothea in the multiverse, if such a place existed. Not long after, the ice that had trapped Shirusagi shattered, leaving him split in two. At the same time, we are shown a girl jogging around Rhedia. Those who saw her immediately recognized her as their queen, Queen Dorothea. Upon realizing this, a crowd quickly gathered to get a clearer view of her. Even a television station dispatched a helicopter to capture the rare moment of Queen Dorothea jogging. Dorothea continued her run until she reached the gates of the royal palace. A guard, concerned about seeing Queen Dorothea leaving the city again, advised her to bring a group of guards due to her significant position in the kingdom. However, Dorothea remained confident, feeling there was no need to worry since she believed she was loved by everyone. Setting that aside, Queen Dorothea wanted to know the latest updates regarding responses from the leaders of the countries she had contacted. The guard informed her that they had not received any replies yet, but were actively pushing those countries for a response. Queen Dorothea emphasized the need for strong pressure on the related country leaders, asserting that failure to comply with her wishes could result in war. Some of the countries contacted by the Kingdom of Rhedia included the military industry nation of Micah, Suzerain Nation, Medical Nation, and Orion Sonora Nation. Meanwhile, Adonis and Doroka continued their journey. The day had turned to night, and the temperature was dropping even further. This was exacerbated by Adonis using the absolute zero magic, freezing a significant portion of the desert. Doroka found herself reminiscing about their recent battles. She felt guilty for casting the love spell on Adonis, feeling she had tainted the heart of someone who deeply cherished Chloe. She had essentially forced his heart to love her. Adonis responded that she needn't worry about it anymore. He reminded her that he was the one who had asked her to do it. After all, Shirusagi was a formidable enemy, and Adonis believed he couldn't defeat him using conventional methods, having underestimated the enemy's combat prowess. Adonis then asked Doroka to lift her bangs. He wanted to see the injuries on her, especially around her eyes. Doroka couldn't see her own injuries and apologized for Adonis having to witness them. Adonis stated that it was his responsibility. Doroka continued to apologize, and Adonis noted that she had apologized about 15 times so far. When pointed out, she immediately apologized again, making it 16. However, Adonis assured her he was beginning to understand her better, her careless nature, her fears, and her endearing qualities. He no longer saw her as deceitful and wanted her to embrace her own gentleness. Adonis then gently placed a bandage over Doroka's eyes, a gesture noticeably softer than usual. Suddenly, Doroka remarked that being helped like this felt like being embraced by Adonis. She chuckled softly, but Adonis merely tapped her head, emphasizing that his heart belonged solely to Chloe and that her love spell had no effect on him. They needed to press on. Interestingly, they had a tent from Punch that allowed them to rest in the cold. As they walked, Doroka frequently stumbled due to her inability to see. Eventually, Adonis had to hold her hand to guide her. Doroka felt awkward but wanted clarity, yet Adonis remained silent, intensifying her discomfort. Finally, Adonis spoke, allowing Doroka to hold his hand. Given the slippery conditions, he would have to hold her hand throughout their journey. By the end of the episode, Yuki, who had been in a tube, finally emerged. However, something was different. Her body appeared to have been modified into a cyborg, similar to Shirusagi. At that moment, Yuki was determined to avenge her brother, Yamato. On another note, the episode also revisited Adonis and Doroka on their journey. Doroka expressed her understanding that seeking revenge wasn't necessarily wrong.